Hi friends, it's Tanya with Healing with Tanya. Thank you again for joining in on my tutorial. So before we get started, please subscribe to the channel, like this, and let me know anything that you have any questions about. We're going to talk about and go through the transition, the big transition from being on your belly after chaturanga to then coming up to downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. So let's just jump right in. Okay, so let's start off on our bellies, and you'll be in that chaturanga position, right? So you've just come down and your hands are in that shelf-like manner, right? You're going to curl your toes underneath you, and this is something that I like to teach my students that are beginners that can just build upon this. So with the toes curled under, you're going to press your knees down, and as you press your knees down, notice how I'm lifting my hips off the mat. So with the knees pressing down, my hips come off. So I'm using my core a lot to stay engaged. And now I'm going to use my hands, push down into the mat, and slowly come up with a flat back. So it's a reverse, It's a reverse push-up. So I'm going to come up, flat back, and then take it back to downward facing dog. So as you can see or hear, I'm struggling to find breath, right? Because there's a lot of action going into just that transition. So oftentimes in transitions, we move quickly and almost like mindlessly, right? We want to get to the next pose. But it's important in your practice to cultivate and keep that engagement in the core so that you don't bring upon an injury. And the transition from being on your belly, from that chaturanga ending, going up to downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana, it happens a lot, and a lot of the times we want to just go to the next, right? We want to just get into down dog. But it's important, like I said, to really move mindfully. So again, we're going to come down on our bellies, right? Our hands are beside our lower ribs. Toes curl under. Use the knees to lift the hips off the mat. Now, there's a difference from using the knees to lift. I'm not really using my core. Watch when I do. See? The lower back goes up. So knees up, core engages, and I'm going to push up. I kept a flat back throughout the whole thing, and now I just need to lift my knees off the mat for Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. So, if you notice, just because I'm going to cheat a little bit or just going to introduce another thing, when we come into, I'm going to show the modified version of chaturanga because I feel it's accessible for all. Notice my low back again. So the shoulders are above the wrists, and then I'm going to shift forward. Shoulders go a little bit beyond the wrists, and then I slowly release my torso down. Notice my low back. There's no dipping in the low back, right? So if we reverse that after the chaturanga, then the low back should remain the same, right? So push the knees down, lift the hips, use the core, come up, flat back. Adho Mukha Svanasana, down dog. So, I think a good idea would be to just repeat that several times until you can maybe go a little quicker. And that doesn't mean to like get you to quicker from now. No, we're just going to work our way there. And that way you can be safe and create an intelligent practitioner in yourself when you're in classes and you feel like you need to keep up with everybody else. Who you really need to keep up with is yourself. All right, so again, let me know if you have any questions, if you have any comments, or if you have any feedback. Again, thanks for joining. Don't forget to subscribe. All right, bye guys.